Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we'll be learning how to make this gathered bust corset, and these are the measurements we'll be needing. The materials we'll be needing are a measuring tape, a masking tape, a ruler, a marker, a scissors, and of course a pattern paper. So guys, we're going to be starting with the front pattern. So guys, the first thing to do is to rule a straight line on your pattern paper to serve as the guideline or the shoulder line. So we are going to be dividing our shoulder measurement by 2. I'm using 15 divided by 2 is 7.5. I'll take that down. The next thing to do is to come down by 1 inch from that shoulder point to create the shoulder slope. So come down by 1 inch and then connect it back into the shoulder line. You guys, please subscribe to my channel and like this video if you find it helpful. So after connecting the points, the next thing we'll do is to take our vertical measurements, the bust point, on the bust and waistline. For this tutorial I used 10 inches for the bust point, 13 inches for the underbust and 18 inches for the waistline. So I connected with a straight line. So you just roll a straight line on your pattern paper, connecting the points together. That's the bust point, the underbust point, and then the waistline. So guys, sorry I didn't know my camera was not capturing the waistline, but you get to see it as the video goes on. The next thing to do is to take our armhole measurement. Please note I put the tape on that slope, and then I went down by 7.5 inches for the armhole. Then I confirmed my shoulder measurement and marked it on that point, and then I connected a straight line from the slope down to our chest line. Yes, it's going to have our chest line. So you connect it with a straight line like so, and then another line. So we are going to label this line as chest line, and then the next line is going to be our bust line, and the other are under bust line. Please, you guys, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. And then our waistline. So the next thing we'll be doing is to create our front armhole. So we are going to divide what is on the armhole by 2. Divide it by 2 and then mark that down. Just watch the way I'm placing my tape. Mark it down like so, and then we would come in by 1/2 inch on that point that we marked. Yes. So the next thing is to take our bust measurement on that chest line and mark it down. After that, the next thing we'll do is to connect our armhole line with a curve. You can use your ruler or you use your free hand to do that. So after connecting the armhole line, the next thing we'll be doing is to take our nipple to nipple measurement. So I used 4 here. I took it on the bust line, on the under bust line, and on the waist line, and then I connected it with a straight line down to the waistline from the bust point, and then I came down by 1 inch from the bust point, and then on the waistline I went in on both sides of the dart legs with 1 inch each, and then I connected from the waistline to the 1 inch we came down by on the bust point. I guess you guys can now see the lower part. So this is how I connected it from the waistline to the 1 inch we came down by on the bust point. So the next thing to do is to divide our bust measurement by 4 and then mark that down on the bust point. Then we are going to add our sewing allowance. I used 2 inches for my sewing allowance. You mark that down. Please guys, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Then I added the allowance on the chest line also. You know, we initially took our bust measurement divided by 4 already on the chest line, so I just added 2 inches that point. So now we'll go to the under bust and divide it by 4 and then take that down, and we are going to be replacing our darts. So we are going to place our tape on the darts and add whatever we got there back to the measurements, and then we are going to add our seam allowance. Then the next thing we are going to do is to take the waist measurement, mark it down, and also replace the darts. That's 2 inches, and then add 2 inches for seam allowance. So guys, after this, the next thing we'll do is to connect our points from the chest line to the bust point to the under bust and then to the waist line. So after connecting the points, the next thing we'll be doing is to create our cups. So we'll go up by 2 inches from the under bust point and mark that down. Then the next thing we'll do is to connect from that point back to our under bust line. You can use your ruler for this, you can use your free hand for this. So after connecting the points, just watch how I'm connecting it. So after connecting this point, the next thing we'll be doing is to work on the side of the cups. So we would place our rule on the side like this and then connect it into the under bust point. So we place our rule on the bust point and then we connect it to the under bust point. So guys, our cup is almost ready. The next thing we'll be doing is to take the neckline, and for this I used 3.5 for my neck width, and then after that I connected from that point to the 2 inches that we already came up by from the under bust point. So just watch how I'm connecting it carefully. Yeah, so this is how it looks. I actually went in a bit because I didn't like the straight neckline, and then I cut. So you can actually make the neckline any neckline of your choice, and then I cut it. This is how I cut it. Yes, so after cutting it, the next thing we'll be doing is to measure what we have left on the shoulder and divide it by 2 and then connect it straight down, and then we would connect another line like this. I added 2 more lines. This is to enable me slash and spread this cup. So the next thing you will do is to slash it and spread it. Be careful not to cut off the pattern. So you slash and spread, but don't cut the pattern off. I don't know if you get me, but don't cut off the shoulder. Like, let your slashing not reach the shoulder point. So after slashing, this is what it looks like. I'll just place on a fresh pattern paper, and then I used 1/2 inch for the distance on each side that I splashed, and then I taped it down and then I cut. You can actually use 1 inch. I used 1/2 inch because I didn't want too much gathers on the under bust. So this is how it looks like. The next thing we are going to do is to tape the 2 lower parts of the front pattern. That's the waist. I have to tape tape it down because I would be cutting this as one piece on the fabric. So that's how it looks. Just trim off, yes, like that. Then the next thing we'll be doing is to connect it with our ruler. So guys, we'll just take our rule and then connect the slope into our shoulder line the same way we did for the front pattern. Then the next thing we'll do is to take our armhole measurements. We'll be using, I used 7.5 the same way I did for the front, and then I confirmed my shoulder measurement on that point, and then I connected a straight line from the slope down to the armhole line, and that's how it looks. I used my rule to also connect another line. This is also going to serve as our chest line. So after taking the measurement, the next thing we are going to do is to mark our bust measurement on the chest line the same way we did for the front. Then the next thing we'll do is to connect our armhole like this, as you can see me doing. You can actually use your free hand for this. You can use your free hand to make the curve. Then the next thing we'll do is I just confirm the bust measurement I took. I'm taking the measurement from that line and not from the zipper allowance, you guys. So I just added my allowance on this back pattern. I added my sewing allowance, and then I connected a straight line. So this is going to serve as the chest line. I came in by 4 inches. That is going to serve as my dart line. I'll connect it from the chest line to the waist line. You guys, this back pattern is also 18 inches long, the same way we did for the front pattern, sorry. So I would come down by 1 inch from the chest line. This is to create our dart, so we'll go in by half an inch on both sides of the dart legs and then connect it back into the 1 inch we came down by on the chest line. So you guys, you can actually connect this with your ruler to have a nice straight line. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, you guys. So yeah, after taking the dart, the next thing to do is I was actually confirming the body measurements. So you take your body measurements, that's the bust divided by 4 plus your sewing allowance, then on the waistline the waist divided by 4. Then we are still going to replace our darts. That's 1 inch. We'll replace it and then add our sewing allowance also on this, and then the next thing we'll do is to connect the points. So guys, after connecting the points, we are almost done with our back pattern. The next thing to do is to go up by half an inch on that line. I actually did this to avoid zipper bulge, so we'll just connect it into the waistline. Yes, we're going to connect it into the waistline like that. And then the next thing we'll do is to take our neck measurement, and remember we use 3.5 for the width of the front. We'll use the same 3.5 for the back width. I went down by 1.5 inch for the depth. I used the same 3.5 for the width, and then I connected it like so. So you guys, you can actually make your lines more better than mine, okay? You can decide to use your curved rule for this. So after that, I extended the line. I went up by on the waistline to the zipper allowance, and then the next thing, I still went in by half an inch on the waistline, and then I just blended it into the zipper allowance. This is to avoid zip bulge on our dress. So yeah, this is it. The next thing we'll do is to label the zip allowance. Then we are going to cut this because this is ready. So you just cut it. We extended the neckline and then cut like this. Watch carefully the way I'm cutting. So you guys, this is it for the front and the back pattern. So guys, don't forget to knot your darts on your back pattern. The next video is going to be a sewing video. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop your comments. Bye.